Hey guys, how's everybody doing tonight? It's Friday night, 31st. Happy Labor Day weekend to anybody that's traveling and heading out for the weekend. A long weekend. You've all earned it, I'm sure. Good luck to the York Young Revolution, who's playing in a baseball tournament tomorrow. I'm sorry, Landon, I won't be there to watch you guys and cheer you and your teammates on. I know you got some new teammates this year that I can't wait to kind of meet. And coaches, you guys do a great job. Oh, I'm knocking the phone down here. I'm just holding it up, I guess. It's a little bit easier. Less chins that way. Anyway, I'm probably going to go a little bit deeper tonight, maybe 2 videos, or at least one, so I have a feeling that there was a lot of stuff to talk about today, and I want to kind of share it with you. I like kind of when there are things that inspire me, and I can kind of at least hopefully teach my kids some lessons as I go and stuff like that. But so anyway, this morning I left Afton, made it through Afton, and kind of covered them in my midday video that I think finally published. I couldn't get it published for a long time. And then the day took a bad turn for me. I got a text message, and I got into a text exchange, which wasn't very pleasant. I was in the middle of doing my midday, as a matter of fact. Maybe that's why I didn't publish. I was actually going to try to be a little bit humorous and a little bit cute and have some fun with it, but the text barrage came, and I was involved in stupidity and getting involved in stuff I don't like to be involved in, and but yet somehow I found myself involved in it once again. And literally it kind of bothered me, quite frankly. It upset me. And I was walking down the highway, and unfortunately, some people sometimes when they want to do what they want to do and get you involved, they're going to do it one way or the other. And the text kept coming and kept coming. And so here I am with another 8 miles ahead of me, getting frustrated and flustered and texting as I go. And I guess God works in strange ways, because just as I'm texting, I took a break to sit down and get some water. I made it into the next county, and I think I was about 5 or 6 miles outside of town. And just as I did that, literally got up and put on my backpack and started to walk, a car rolled up on me with a father-daughter group, great people. Lloyd and his daughter Ashley had come up. Ashley is a cheerleader for the Northeast Oklahoma University in Miami that I was up by a few days ago. And I guess she got injured last Monday. She had something more that she pulled her, I don't want to say hip out of her socket, but she did some damage to her hip. So her dad went up to get her and get her back home so she could rest. I think she has a doctor's appointment on Monday. But just a nice family. I was talking with Lloyd a little bit, and that's what this journey is about, is the people and the people I've met. And Lloyd has found his way to Christ, and didn't get into too much detail. It certainly sounded like he had some battles earlier in his life, and I always admire people that are willing to admit their shortcomings and their shortfalls. Yeah, she was a beautiful young lady, and it was just really nice to talk to the two of them, and she kind of educated me about what's going on with her hip and what's entailed with all of that and how the school handles it, and so that was real nice. And then I got into town, and I made my way through town, and I stopped for lunch at a place called Clanton's. By the way, the town I stopped in is Veneta, Oklahoma, which, to those of you that follow me, I don't want to be wrong when I say this. I got accused of being wrong about other things today, so my facts aren't always correct, guys. I apologize. But anyway, Dr. Phil, who I'm a huge fan of. I don't know if he was born here, lived here, was raised here, but somehow he was at some point had a home in this community, or lived in a home in this community. So I don't want to be factually incorrect, but so that's kind of neat. And so now when he looks on stage and says, look, from one good old boy to another, I get to see his good old boy town out here in Oklahoma. But I met Carrie and Brenda, and they were really cool. I asked a random question of a lot of people, and one of the random questions I asked is, what's your favorite movie of all time? And I have to give Carrie props because, it's escaping me now. But she's the only person ever to give me the answer, and it's the 70s version of a horror movie. Good Lord. And it wasn't like a classic horror movie. It is a classic, but not. Oh, it escaped me. It was mentioned in the movie FX too. Anyway, I apologize, but it's the first time I've ever heard of that movie. as a favorite movie of all time. So, but what was interesting about my lunch there was I only talked to a few people about what I was doing. It was very crowded. I kind of kept to myself. But Gary came over to me and said, "Hey, the couple that was over there picked up your lunch tab, and they didn't make any bit of it known. They didn't come over and tell me they were doing it. They just..." So to those anonymous folks that did that for me, on behalf of me and my family, thank you very, very much for that. Oh, but I'm skipping over things. See, I'm all distracted. It's been a long day. So on my way down to Veneta, I got and I don't think I'm going to say the person's name because of the detail I want to go into, but one of the folks I met last night reached out to me and said, "Hey, you got a place down in Veneta?" And I said, "I don't. Not yet anyway. I haven't even got there." And she said, "When you do, look up Pastor Robert at the Life Church. He's a really good guy. He's a friend of mine. And I told him you're coming, and I really believe in what you're doing, and he will too. And look him up, and he'll look out for you, take care of you." So we started talking, and she said, "Hey, my kids had a question for you. They really think what you're doing is amazing. They had a few questions." So her and I started a little text dialogue about that. And at some point we sat down. Or I sat down, not we sat down. I sat down, and I get a lot of people that follow me and that like me, and I don't really pay much attention to in terms of their profiles and stuff. I don't really get in other people's business. But in this one case, because anytime somebody, that sun is right there, huh? Anytime somebody does something over and above like that for me, something special, I don't know why, I just checked out her profile. And I was looking at her profile, and she had some poetry on there. And one of them was really profound, and seemed to deal with somebody's unexpected and untimely death. But I kind of thought there was a story there. So I said, "Hey, can I ask you a personal question?" And I saw in your profile you had this poem, and you know, you don't have to share anything with me, but would you tell me a little bit about the poem and what prompted it? And you know, she shared with me something I've talked about a great deal on these videos. And she shared with me a story of a young man who had essentially grown up with her brother, so he was like family. And he was on the rodeo circuit and rodeo tour, and he had been an addict for a good many years, or at least a battle with drugs for a good many years. Kind of got himself clean, and the folks in the rodeo circuit kept an eye out for him and looked out for him to keep him on the straight and narrow. And apparently he did, and he came back home, or was at a fairly large rodeo here in Oklahoma, and everybody went to go see him and was supportive, and they went to go see him on a Friday night, and everything seemed great. They hung out with him on Saturday, and Saturday he seemed great, and then everybody went back home. And then come Sunday, this gentleman, I guess, reached out to his sister late at night, and of course she was sleeping, so she didn't know the phone was ringing. And when she didn't hear from the next morning, she got concerned and called people to go, you know, take a look and make sure he was okay. And unfortunately, he decided to end his life that night. So, in a tribute to him and his family, this young lady wrote that poem. And while that certainly is poignant enough, it got her and I talking, you know, and she had kind of confessed that there have been moments where she's, well, she had told me when she met Pastor Robert or something like that, she had lost a child and was really taking it hard. And there was a moment in her life where she was invited to go somewhere for the day with some people, and she had gone as far as planning her own demise. And that trip with those folks that day changed her life, and had she not, in her own words, she wouldn't be here today. And I share that with you not to call out anybody, but to confess to myself that, well, I've never been suicidal. You know, depression takes a lot of different, manifests itself in a lot of different ways. And you know, even for people that seem like they've got it all together, that hold professional jobs, that you don't have to be a destitute, down and out, needy person to be battling depression and or levels of depression. And you know, that was evidenced by, just before I took my journey, I think two fairly famous celebrities, a fashion designer, I don't remember her name, and Anthony Bourdain took their lives. So I'm grateful that she shared that with me, and only because it's just a reason to have a talking point. So folks, you know, don't look down upon people that are battling depression. Don't look down upon people that have, you know, mental illness. Those are the folks that we need to extend our hand to. And don't assume because somebody tells you, I'm okay, I got this, that they have it. In fact, it's probably one of the biggest signs that you need to be able to understand. It's the people that can try to convince you that they've got it that really don't, and they just want to be a burden on others. So I appreciate her sharing her story with me, and introduced me to Pastor Robert. So from there, and ironically, while I was at that restaurant having lunch, guess who was in the, Brenda said, hey, you got to meet the pastor, or you got to meet this gentleman, she told him, and it turned out to be Pastor Robert. So we agreed to kind of meet up later and talk a little bit later. We talked about Jesus there for a short while, and we took off from there. There's definitely more I want to talk about today, so I'm going to probably cut this video off so I don't run over. They're about, you know, when I try to splice them, they come out terrible, so I try to keep them within that 15-minute window. And again, I try to warn you I'm going to do more than one, which I am today. But I did want to touch on something else. I think a couple of days back, somebody gave Brian a care package for me when I was leaving Baxter Springs, and I don't know who, and I don't know that I ever recognized them and thanked them on here. That's to those people, to that person as well. Thank you for doing what you did. And then something else that struck me, was it 2 days ago? 2 days ago, I caught on the news just briefly that I really take my hat off to these people. So there's a couple of celebrities that live here in Oklahoma. Garth Brooks, who I think still might be the biggest selling artist of all time, and his wife Trisha Yearwood. But what struck me is that they were volunteering their time at a Habitat for Humanity house, and I don't know where it was. But what struck me was you could see that they were legitimately working. They weren't, you know, there to hammer one nail for the camera and head on out. And you know, all of us can give back, and it just touches me when somebody who or people that have plenty of celebrity and money and things like that still find the time to go and give back to a community. So I applaud Garth Brooks, I applaud Trisha Yearwood for doing that. I think so often, you know, we trash celebrities, and like society does, we seem to enjoy putting people down rather than propping people up. And especially when it comes to celebrity, we love to tell all the bad stories and highlight those things. Well, I want to recognize Garth and Trisha for getting involved with Habitat for Humanity. I think it's a great thing, and I think they deserve to be recognized for that. So I'm going to tell you about the later part of my afternoon into early evening as I go here, but I'll do that in my next video. So I'm going to shut this off and jump back on it. Love you guys. Thank you for following.